Good morning and welcome to Sunday's Join the Dots. Recorded Saturday morning, so I've just got the market closes from Friday. What have we got? Silver 58.28, up 3% for the week. Now this is significant because remember last week we had a 12.5% increase. You don't expect to have another rise the next week, and we got a 3% increase. But more important than that, on Friday silver actually hit 59.90. I was watching it on the tape and bang, 59.90, whack, in they came, and it was 58.30 within minutes. So we're still in the same game, and I'll come on to that in a minute in an interview with the Swan Capitalist and Andy Sheckman. Okay, so silver up 3%, 58.28. All-time high was hit at 59.90, but it, as I say, it got smacked in the market. Gold around 4.2, flat. XRP 204, flat. Bitcoin a little bit up this week, 3.8%, but I think very, very vulnerable. I really do. Gold-silver ratio is the big thing. It's 72 now. Do you remember when it was 110? And all I said was, this is ridiculous, it will be 30. Now it's 72. Okay, so we moved halfway from 110 to 30. We've already moved 40 points to 72. Pan American silver, now this is interesting, and again I've said this a few times now, silver's up 3%, Pan American down 4%. There is more and more and more hidden value in Pan American silver, in my view, in my analysis. And Agnico Eagle Mines also down 3.6% when gold was flat. So there's value in these miners, in the top miners, and I'll come on to that in an interview with Rick Rule in a minute, which will confirm that. Okay, so first link, Black Swan Capitalist. I just love the heading to this. I could have written it myself. Gold, silver, XRP are quietly rewriting the global financial system. I kid you not, I didn't write it, they did. I just saw it on my feed last night and thought, wow, gold, silver and XRP. Thank you very much, guys. Their son and his brother. Right, but a good interview with Andy Sheckman. Let's talk about that. 8 banks have the most concentrated short position in any market in history. That's any market. They have the biggest concentrated short position in silver. Well, now after the December deliveries, 13,000 tonnes of silver have been stood for delivery this year. 13,000 tonnes. London, which used to have 1.18 billion ounces in 2021, is now sitting on 690 million ounces. I think Andy says 790, but I think it's 690, of which 650, or 550 rather, 550 are in ETFs. So they have a float of 140 million ounces. That's all they have. Open contracts, 2 billion. So 2 billion could stand for delivery within weeks, and London has 140 million ounces. It is a disaster just waiting to happen. So it will happen. We just have to be patient. And as I say, we've seen silver and gold move so much this year. We don't need that much patience, do we? Surely. Okay. So on Thanksgiving night, Andy said that there was a rumour of someone standing for 40 million ounces. Were requested. Now, I've got billion written down here. You'd have to check that. I've linked it for you. You can watch it yourself. Okay. Sorry, we're doing this in a rush because we've got guests coming today. Rumour of 40 billion ounces standing for delivery. And bang, what happened? Remember it? Thanksgiving night, Thursday night, quiet night, everyone watching the football or having meals, and the server collapsed. Oh, sorry, the server overheated. No, it didn't. It's got second, it's got third, it's got fourth backups. It's military grade infrastructure. It can't afford to collapse. It can't afford to do it. So it wasn't an overheating. Someone requested one hell of a lot of ounces. $40 billion worth of silver requested for delivery. That's what it is. It's not 40 billion ounces, it's $40 billion worth. Honestly, they think we're stupid. They act as if we're stupid. And let's face it, 99% of the world are stupid. And that's what they rely on. That's why they tell us lies and just don't expect any kickback, pushback. Anyway, standing for delivery is the Achilles heel of the whole market now. because there's just not enough. There's not enough silver and gold around. Okay. Lots of numbers on contracts. I won't try and read them all out. Every month since November 24, there's been massive stand for deliveries. November 24, Trump was elected. Just think about that. I'm not saying there's a direct connection at this point, but I think there might be. Now, I'm going to go on to link 2 now. Rick Rule, our favourite. Now, this is the best guy. This is simply the best guy for mining analysis. Gold and silver mining analysis, Rick Rule. And he has at the moment running a barbell strategy. So he has massive amounts of largest and most successful miners at one end of his barbell. And that includes Wheaton Precious, Franklin Nevada and Agnico Eagle, he mentions it. That's in his largest and most successful miners. On this side, he has the most raggedy explorers. So he's going for quality and then he's going for opportunity. Okay, now I wouldn't suggest you went for the explorers. I really wouldn't. Yes, there'll be some 10x's, there'll be some 20x's, there'll be some 50x's, but there'll be a load of bankruptcies as well. Okay, or there'll be a load of fraud, as we see in every industry towards the end of a cycle. There's a lot of fraud. There's a lot of people who come up with all sorts of mining projections and analysis, and they'll have nothing. They'll have a hole in the ground and absolutely nothing. So I'm sticking in my safe way on a certain journey, and I'm following Rick Rule, one of the ends of his barbell, the largest and most successful miners. Can't complain. Where's he putting his new money? Any new money that comes in, it's going into the largest and most successful miners. He says it on tape. You can watch it on the video. All right. Now, he says we're at inning 3 of 9. Now, we've talked about this before, and people have said we're in the first inning. We're in only the first half inning of 9. Rick says we're in inning 3 of 9, so we're a third of the way. Okay. Now, he expects the dollar to lose 75% of its value over the next 10 years. So in other words, you would assume that gold will be worth 3 times what it is today, 4 times what it is today, okay? It'll increase 3 times. I'll go further than that. I'd say, yes, the dollar will decrease by 75%, as will all fiat currencies, probably more in some cases. But the gold and silver will naturally be 4 times higher rather, sorry. It'll be 4 times higher. But then you've got the demand. Then you've got the crises. Then you've got the repricing of the entire metals spectrum and their positioning in the world in backing whatever system we come up with to replace the present one. So I think, whereas you say fiat currencies will fall 75%, I think metals will rise a lot more than 4x. I really do. I really do. Okay. Wall Street, now this is something Rick Rule, again, Rick Rule's a great one for detail. He points out that every Wall Street analyst, A-N-A-L-YST, analysts, because that's what they are using a 3,200 gold price. So these analysts still see gold no more valuable than 3.2 in their calculations. What can you say? What can you say? They just can't face the truth, can they? Because they didn't pick it. For 25 years, it's been the best performing asset on the planet, and they didn't even see it. Analysts. Anyway, I've got to make an apology at the moment because and it wasn't one of you. You are very kind. You're a very kind group of people. I love you. But Craig told me last night, he said, "Have you seen your glasses?" And I said, I hope you didn't notice that. He said, "They're wonky." I said, "Yeah, I sat on them." I sat on them on Tuesday, and yeah, Anne did her best to repair them, but they're a little bit wonky. So there's a new pair coming, but you're going to have to bear with me for another week. They take a little while here to get good glasses. So there we go. It doesn't matter whether they're wonky. I'm seeing straight. I'm seeing absolutely straight. Silver hit 59.90 yesterday, last evening, 59.90 on the Friday evening. And it was slammed back down to 58.20. That's 3%. That's a huge. Now, I'll just go back to Andy Shipman just for a second. He says this is the military-industrial complex at work. And one or two of you have mentioned this, and I mentioned it in a previous video about silver being used for missiles. Silver is used in every piece of military technology that has any conductivity or electronic function. It has to be used in military-grade operations, okay? So, you know, it's going a long way. Yes, it probably is the military-industrial complex who are trying to protect, or try, but at the end of the day, when they keep shorting it and the market keeps buying it, they're going to lose money. They're going to lose the money, not you. We're going to win, okay? So thank you very much. It's a shorter version. We will be back Monday for a longer presentation probably, but I'm giving you two links today. I'm giving you Black Swan Capitalist, gold, silver, XRP. That's their heading, not mine. And I'm giving you Rick Rule. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.